Good morning, people. Or should I say good afternoon. It's Monday. I've had a rethink. I've got my new clamps on. And I've moved this bracket from the outside of the panel to the inside of the panel, so that we can actually take the panel off without removing the exhaust, just by removing that one bolt. I've also taken the panel off and fitted that V-belt to the pulley, because I think that V-belt can stay where it is, because we can take it off at the grass deck end and we can just have a hook for it to go on under there, and we can just hook it up here so that it's clear of the pulley, right? Which would mean not taking the plate off to remove the grass deck. It would mean that we could just remove the grass deck and have done with it, which means we can use the tractor with or without the grass deck without pissing about with the engine. Right, so I'm just going to bool this into the welding shop and just weld that onto there, and then I'm going to think again about some sort of an exhaust system. I'm still stuck, but I'm less stuck than I was. I'm trying to balance the outlet between the two pipes so that it comes out maybe between the two pipes there or between the two pipes here, you know. And I've thought about all sorts of. I thought about. This was a brilliant idea, which unfortunately won't work. Right? I get lots of those brilliant ideas that won't work. I thought about putting a piece of tube inside there, like that, so that it came to the end, and the exhaust would have, and I would cut it off internally and then come out in the middle of it, so that the exhaust would go that way and into that end and that way and into that end. But it's, as you can see, it takes up far too much of the available holes, so I've scrapped that idea now. Probably a good thing, because it was a silly idea anyway, but it would have silenced it a lot. If I had some smaller diameter tube, but the smaller diameter tube you put in, the more you restrict it. I don't want to restrict it, I just want to give it enough back pressure, or at least a pressure wave. So I'm going to weld that on now, and then I'm going to do something with the exhaust. Okay, I'll bring you back when I've done it. Bye for now. Well folks, Monday, going home time. I've come to the conclusion that the favourite place to mount it is probably here, like that, which means that I need to make a pipe to go from that little white circle there, that straight mark is the centre of the exhaust. I need a pipe to go up and over and down, and then I need a short pipe there to put the exhaust outlet just down here in this space. But I have look at this, just bits lying all over the place. I have come to the conclusion that it may well be possible to do something with this lever, which you used to put the clutch in and out, by a system of linkages to go. I've got a gap through there, and I can go right through there, and I can push that out like that to tension the belts. That's all the movement it needs between off and drive. So I could maybe do something with that. So that's a job for after I've done the exhaust, because I'm not gonna leave this exhaust. Although my dear brother's been up, and he did say you want to do something else and go back to it, because you'll be thinking about it subconsciously and you might come up with something. Well, I don't know that I will come up with something, because I have looked everywhere for somewhere where there is a space to put this exhaust, and it's really tight. It's really busy under there. It won't go under there. If you put it under there, it gets trapped as soon as you lift the deck up. It won't go under there because it's in the way of the steering. Everywhere you look, there's a reason why it won't go there, right? well, it might go there, but the deck comes up, this comes up, this pivots when it's a proper tractor axle, this, it's centre pivoted, and it twists. You know, as the terrain twists, the axle twists with it. So this wheel comes up here, right, and also of course locks into the tractor when it's in lock. So there really is. I've even thought of inside there. I've even thought of putting it inside there, but there's just no way. So tomorrow I'm going to make a pipe that comes out of the top, turns 90, goes over here, and then goes down like that. So that's going to be my little job for tomorrow. And now it's cold because I got here late and didn't light the fire, and I'm going home to sit in front of my computer and turn into a vegetable. Right, okay, that's Monday done. Bye for now, folks. Hi there, folks. It's 3 o'clock, Tuesday, and I've still got that white circle on there because I've been out helping Keith do a poo run because his wife's still very ill and not able to do anything at all. So I've given him a hand this morning. What else I've done is started to create a 90-degree bend on there. Now, my initial thought was, right, okay, you want a 30-degree cut, and then you want a 30-degree slice to fill it in. Unfortunately, I haven't got anything that'll cut it at 30 degrees. I was even tempted to fit a cutting disc to the Evolution. But unfortunately, of course, the centres are different, so you can't put an abrasive disc on there unless you buy a special Evolution abrasive disc or whatever. Anyway, it won't fit, so a bandsaw would have done it, but I haven't got a working metal bandsaw. This, you have a job cutting with at 45 with this. I maybe could have done it with that, but anyway, I've decided that the best way to do it was just have a go. So I've marked it off at 30 degrees, put a bend in it, and I'm now going to make a piece using CAD, cardboard aided design, to fill the gap in and see what it looks like and see if I can live with it. But there we go. Right, I shall continue. I am determined to get this done one way or another. Right, so I'll continue and we'll see if we can make something that doesn't look too much like a pig's ear. Right, bye now, folks, bye. Folks, Tuesday, 5 o'clock, I've created a walking stick. A 90-degree bend, slightly over 90 degrees actually, but that doesn't matter. With a piece in there, piece welded in there, and it's gone pretty well. It's okay, but I'm still wondering if the best way to do it wouldn't be to shorten that bend back so that it was there, and just weld that in the underneath like that, and just ignore the fact that it's not in the middle. And it puts a bit of an imbalance in the exhaust system. Oh look, I could do it like that. No. So I might not use that. I might not use that elbow I've taken 2 hours to make. I might just shorten this back so that brings that up there, and I might just weld it on there. With it shortened back like that. I'll decide tomorrow. Now it's time to go home. I've just broken my rules and I've welded past 4:30. But I got it finished, and I heated up with a brazing hearth and bent it into shape around the gap and welded it in, and it welded in really well actually. But I've used all the gas in that tiny gas bottle, so that was it. It just ran out as I was finishing. But it did the job. Right, I'm going to pack up and go home, have some tea. See you all tomorrow for Wednesday's fun and games. Bye now. Here we go, folks. This is my bedtime routine. Water off. Everything off in here. Radio off. Lights off. Compressor off. Bench lights off. Check the gas off. Check the welders unplugged. Check the gases off there. Final check on the fire. Yes, it's down to ashes. And then it's lights off, alarm off, on, and then it's F off. Bye now. Good afternoon, folks. Wednesday, 2 o'clock. And I've bitten the bullet. I have bitten the bullet. That's where it's going to go. With a pipe out here, just like that, or down. Just a slight bend down. Plenty of clearance for the pedal, and that's about the nicest place I can get it to fit. I've sacrificed gas flow for aesthetics, but there you go. You see, the strange thing is, on the original 2CV one, the pipes go into the box like that, and then there's an extension on the box, and the outlet pipe comes out there at this end, so it must be a lot further. Unless it's internally baffled, but I don't think they are. I really don't think they are. I'm sure I've cut one open, and I expected to see complex internal baffles which made it the same distance from each exhaust port to the outlet, and it didn't seem to work like that. So I've bitten the bullet. I've just had that in the welding shop and tacked it up, and I'm now going to take it off and weld it fully. Weld it all fully, including the ends. And by tonight, it'll be finished and I'll be exhausted. Bye now. Again, folks, 3:30, and it looks like we have an exhaust system. He said, sticking his fingers in front of the camera. I'm sorry about that. There we go. There we go. That's not on. It's not straight yet, but there it is, all mocked up and all welded up as well. I need a couple of clamps. I need a couple of clamps for there and there, and we shall assemble it. Once it's assembled and clamped up, I can then assemble it from one end to the other. But I've made these loose connections here with clamps on, so that we can get the flanges lined up properly and then clamp them up tight and then assemble it from that end to this end. But there you go. That works, it clears everything. I'm probably going to swing that round that way a bit so it doesn't put hot exhaust onto there and burn all the paint off, but other than that I think it's done. Thank God for that. And now I can move on to making a long lever. Right, it won't work with that up. Making a long lever to just do that, because that's out of gear. That slips around nicely. Oh, it did slip around nicely. I've jammed it in here. Right, and then that's drive. So we need a long lever now to do that. Actually. Is actually touching on there. That's odd. I don't think that should be touching on there, but I can't afford to take any off that pulley. Never mind, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Righto. Righto, that's it for now. That's it for now. It's on. How well it'll work I don't know, but time will tell. Alright, catch you all later. Bye now. Here we are, folks. It's a bit of subtle exhaust resizing. Don't look at the wobble, because I've got it turning nicely on the inside with a very gentle cut. This should be the last cut. I'm just taking it out to match my pipe. And this should be the last cut. I've been taking fairy cuts at 10 thou, which is like 20th hour on the diameter, 10th hour side. So I've been taking fairy cuts, and it's working. I might have to take another little tiny cut after this, but there you go. Exhaust pipe resizing on the lathe. Bye now. Good afternoon, boys and girls, and it is with a great deal of pleasure I tell you that the exhaust is fitted, for now anyway. There it is. I've just got the tailpipe, which is over there in the vise, having just been painted with a coat of matte black, and that goes on the bottom there and pokes out there. I'll show you that when I've got it fitted. So now I'm going to move back onto the carburetor and see if I can sort out what's wrong with the carburetor and get it running properly. Now I've got an exhaust system that is probably going to make it run like a bag of crap, but never mind, let's just soldier on, and if it doesn't work right we can alter the exhaust at a later date. Right, so that's the next job. Get the carburetor working and the engine running properly, and then fit the air filter, and finally work out the pulley drive mechanism. And there you go. Right, I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll bring you back when there's something more interesting to show you, but thank God for that. It's not what I wanted. It's not as beautiful and aesthetic as I wanted. In fact, as beautiful things go, it's ugly. But it is a garden tractor, you can't complain. I'm quite happy with the way it's gone together. All the clamps are fitted. I did the right thing not welding these, because as it is, you can turn them until you get the flange fitting right, spot on, perfect. Okay, I'll bring you back when there's something more to show you. Bye now. I've just done a very silly trick, but I got away with it. In my enthusiasm to clean the carburetor out, and I have done this before, many moons ago on a Ford, I was merrily blowing all the jets out, and there was a little pop, and this little devil flew out and disappeared. But as it flew out, it caught on my shirt sleeve, and I knew it had gone behind me, and I've just picked it up on the floor. Phew. Put it back in. Don't be so enthusiastic with the airline next time. I did it years ago. I think it was on a Ford. I think it was a Cortina or something like that. They had a ball and a spring in a drilling vertically in the carburetor, and I didn't know about it, and I put the airline in and watched it just disappear. Poop, gone. And I think I went to the main Ford dealer and bought replacements, because I don't think I had a cat and mouse chance of finding it. But there you go. Anyway, I shall continue. I have once again cleaned the pilot jet. I have now blown through all the passageways in the carburetor, and I'm now going to check behind the needle valve, just to make sure that we haven't pushed a load of muck up from the tank and blocked the needle valves, because that's highly possible. Things like that do happen. So there you go. So I've had to move all this stuff out. Now I'm going to have a sweep up and move it all back again. But I found it, that's the main thing. Alright chaps, bring you back later. And there we go folks. Thursday, 5 o'clock. The tailpipe's on. The exhaust's on. And it's finished. I've got the battery on charge. I've finished stripping and rebuilding the carburetor again, and blowing jets all over the workshop floor. What I've got to do next is change the spark plugs for the new spark plugs I've bought, because it's got 2 odd spark plugs in, probably neither of which is very good, and then get it running and see how it sounds on that exhaust system, and also build the air cleaner. make an air cleaner. That's the next job, and it's quite straightforward really. I've got two choices with that. I can put a big foam element in it, or I can get a standard air cleaner element and just make a box, standard cheap air cleaner element, and just make a box for it to go in. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I had the idea of I've got some, I think they're still over here actually somewhere, or are they, or have I lost them? Yes, I've got the idea of using those two next to each other over the chokes of the carburetor, more or less like that, something like that, in a box, into a box, which, or even maybe like that, into a box which sticks up to the bonnet. I might just do that, I'm not sure. You see, I've read quite a lot of stuff about the fact that the air cleaner is quite an important part of keeping a slight depression or vacuum in the sump, in the sump, which is this pipe here, which connects to the air cleaner. Now, in the normal sense, that's just there to reburn oil vapours, like on old-fashioned engines. You always had an engine breather that went into the inlet manifold somewhere, so that it would reburn all the vapour from the oil. But I did read a piece somewhere that they said that this was actually designed also to keep the sump under slight depression, so that it didn't leak oil, or so that the oil leaks weren't as, I must admit, they are really oil-tight little engines. They don't leak much oil. But there you go. Anyway, that's tomorrow's job. For today, signing off. See you tomorrow. Bye now. Good morning, folks. It's Friday. The battery's on charge. I've done a couple of little jobs like shorten back these cables so that they fit they don't curve outside the hood better. And I'm now going to start with the making the air filter box. And the idea I've come up with is to have, very similar to the 2CV, a foam rubber element around that, a flat sheet of metal with that hole cut in it, a flange on it with a Jubilee clip around it to hold it on. Right, on that flat sheet there'll be a piece of mesh, probably 1/4 inch weld mesh or something like that, right, which will form a circle around there. That'll have a foam rubber element around the outside of it, right. Then there'll be a lid on, and on the lid there'll be two round collars onto which I will fit these two. So what we'll have, these are I don't know if you can you see through those? I don't think you'll be able to see, but they're fairly coarse. They're fairly coarse elements, so they can be the coarse filtering, and the foam rubber will be the fine filtering. Now, I've also got to put a pipe in that goes on the inside of the foam element so that I can connect this breather to it. Right, so that goes directly into the inlet manifold. So I've got to allow for that as well. So the first thing to do is select a piece of tin, mark that oval on it. Is that below there? Yes, it is just below there. That might not be. We might actually get rid of that. I might have to pull the choke out to get that gone. Yeah, that's more or less gone. Right, so I'll get on with that, and when I've got some more done, I'll bring you back and show you. The battery's charging up nicely. I still haven't put my new spark plugs in, but I want to get this done. We should be on for a good start now with new plugs in. We'll try it. Right, I'm not going to try it today. I'm going to get this air filter box made. Right, I'll bring you back when there's something more to show you. Bye now. Here we are, folks, step 1 of cardboard aided design. Right, CAD, it's an old joke, it's not mine, it's Andrew Mawson's, so there you go. But I like it. Carbonated design, it's excellent. Right, so that's more or less gasket tapped out on there, and then trim with the scissors. But you have to be a bit careful when you're tapping on the edge of aluminium, especially things like carburetors, because they're usually not aluminium. They're usually an aluminium zinc alloy, which can age and does become brittle, so you have to be careful. So I just tapped enough to mark it, and then I've cut it out with the scissors. Now then, we're going to find a piece of metal and move to stage 2, which is to cut that hole out and then make a flange, a slotted flange to go around the bottom of that, and weld the two together. And then we're beginning to develop an air filter, or at least an air filter box. Right, I'll bring you back in a minute. Bye now. There we go, folks. One air filter base. It's rough, but then so. No, it's not bad actually. I cut the hole out with 2 hole saw cuts, joined up with the angle grinder, and I slipped slightly there, but no matter, because that's going to be welded over anyway. So next thing we have to do is raise a flange. Stop it. Who misses? To go up there like that, to lift that just above and to go around that rim, and also to weld into there so that we can put a Jubilee clip around the underneath and clip it tightly to that flange. We've got to go up a bit because we need to clear that, so we need to be about so high roughly, and I've discovered that this is touching the bonnet as well, so I need to relieve an area. This appears to be touching the bonnet just there, so I may be able to just cut that piece out and flap it up, panel beat it, and just stop it rubbing on there, because you don't want the engine banging on the bonnet. Right, okay, so I shall get to that, and I shall once again, it's the side of a washing machine, or could actually possibly be an oil-fired boiler. It's very good steel, it's Zintex steel underneath the paint, so it ain't going to rust, or at least, you know, I shall paint it because it'll have weld on it. But so next thing I need to make is the difficult bit, because it's a compound curve. But we shall see what we shall see. Right then, I'll crack on with that. I'll bring you back when there's something more to show you. Folks, we're progressing. We've got a piece of thin tin and we've curled it round, and we've put a Jubilee clip. Can you see that? And we've put a Jubilee clip on it. It had to be a double Jubilee clip because I ain't got it in the right length. And now I've made this dolly, and what I'm going to do is take this off the carburetor, put the dolly in the bottom, tighten the Jubilee clip up, and then I can tap that edge over without smashing the carburetor asunder. So there we go. Right, I shall continue and I'll bring you back again in a bit. Bye now. So here we go, folks. We've got the fit nice there. We've taken the paint off around there. We've got the Jubilee clips gripped tightly around the puck, which has been made to fit exactly in there so that it stays the same size. So what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to very gently, with a dolly applied under here, turn a little tiny edge over all the way around, and then just tack weld it, and that'll do the job. I might start it off with a pair of pliers, a very slight nip with a pair of pliers, and just a little turn over. It doesn't need to be much. I really need, I don't know. Let's give it a go and see what happens. I can only make a complete cock up of it, can't I? Let's just crack on and do it. Bring you back later when it's all gone wrong. Bye now. There we are, folks. A few spots of delicate MIG welding just to hold it in place while I tap the rest over and get it flat, and then it'll get some more tacks and that'll be the job done. Possibly a skim over with sealer or something like that, just to make sure there's no air leaks. Right, I shall crack on with that. And it's beginning to take shape. Right, bring you back later. There we go, folks. It's tapped over quite neatly, that, and it's thin metal and it's plastic coat on the other side, but I use it because first of all I've got lots of it, and it's very soft and pliable, and you can do little jobs like that with it. So all I need to do now is put a few more tacks on there, and that job's a good one. And there you go. Lovely. Bye now. Cheers folks. Tack welded round, flanged over, refitted Jubilee clip on. So next bit is to try and find a bit of mesh. What another fine mesh you've got me into. And that's what I want, some fine mesh, but not that fine, because I want to be able to tack weld it onto there. Although I may not need to tack weld it onto there. We'll see. I'll see if I can find some. Bye for now. And there we are folks. I've found some mesh and I've found some foam to make the inner filter with, which is good filter material. I don't know where I got that from, but probably from Michael's. But it's oh, it could be from JB Filters actually, a company that used to be in Driffield. I'm not sure if they're still there, but they used to make filters and fire traps for industrial and commercial air conditioning systems, and they used to go out all over towns and cities, and overnight they would crawl into the ducts, take the old aircon filters out, put their new filters in, and then test all the air conditioning system, test all the fire traps and everything, and make a lot of money. But I don't even know whether it's still there. It could be from JB Filters. I found some stuff downstairs that I know is from JB Filters, which is like a fine wire gauze, which they used to use making their filters. But there you go. Right, well folks, the witching hour has arrived. The party's over. The candles flicker and dim. It's just gone 4:30 on Friday, so I'm past the Rubicon for any more welding, and I don't really think I need to weld that. I think if I just form that into a circle or an oval, or a piece of that, to go around there just to stop the filter collapsing inwards, and made sure that there was plenty of overlap of foam top and bottom to seal it, I think we're largely there. I think we're largely there. We just need to make a box for that to put two filters like that. Like that, I think, or maybe even like that. Maybe even like that on the front of it. Or maybe even like that. Or like that. Who knows? That's all for next week. So, there we go folks. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm still getting massive numbers of people watching, but not subscribing. I got 570 odd views last week, which is my best yet. So please subscribe, please send me a like, please comment. I always try to answer every comment, and I always try to keep in touch with anybody that subscribes and then comments. So do it. Just get on and do it. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Bye for now, people. Bye now. Right, this is the side of the graft, and this is the spring housing. Now, on the spring housing is a patent number, right? And when you pull this plunger out here, you can take the tension off the spring. Right, now whether you can get this patent number or not, I don't know, but it's patent number 555186. Right, now the idea is you pull the plunger out, you can then tension the spring, let go, and the plunger goes back in. So you can add more or less spring tension to the quill. Right, let's see if we add a bit more now. It snaps up a bit more smartly. So that's the first thing. Right, you can then remove that completely. Right, I'm now going to take the lid off and show you inside. I'm going to back this up with some pictures as well. And I'm also learning myself, because although I've actually had this off, I can't remember how it comes off. Right, so what you've got in there is a piece of flat spring coiled up, and in the middle, as you can see, the middle part is slotted, and this end of the spring goes into the slot and also into a round hole drilled in the side of the spring container. I wonder if that... No, that doesn't come out. There must be... Yes, there's a screw underneath there. Right. So if I remove that screw, there's a screw, a large headed screw underneath. Right, just got interrupted there. Right, that's the screw that goes underneath, and as you can see, it's got a point on it, or at least a turn down piece. And then we can pull this piece out. There's the shaft, and the bad news is this is quite a complex piece. If this is the bit that's missing, this is quite a complex piece. As you can see, this is the gear, if you like, that this peg pushes into, right? So every time you turn it, you can get an extra tooth on it. That's the slot that the screw goes into to retain the whole thing. So what you've got here basically is a solid casting, right? That's just one big solid casting. So that's it really. That's how it goes together. So if we put that back on there like that, that then goes like that, and then we have to line that up with the... So it goes into the slot, which is going to be a faff. But I think that basically gives you the idea of how it works. What I'm going to do now is shoot some stills on my phone, just so that you've got an idea of what it is. But I would look up this patent number, because 555186, because you may well get a detailed drawing from that with dimensions. Okay, I'll call that it for a video, and now I'll take some stills of it. Bye now.